What's up, LEGO fans? Welcome to my channel, Pete's Bricks, the LEGO channel for the common LEGO fan. And today we are going to be doing another comparison video. This time we're comparing the old Iron Man helmet to the new Iron Man helmet. I have two pairs of different Iron Man figures, one older set with the older helmet and a newer one with the new helmet, and we're going to be jumping into my light box and we're going to be really getting down and comparing the minute details to figure out which Iron Man helmet is better. But before we get into this video, I do ask that you please leave a like, leave a comment, most importantly that you subscribe to my channel. It would really help my channel out a lot. But without further ado, let's go get into the video. The first LEGO Iron Man figure we're going to look at is the Mark 85 Iron Man. The one on the left is the older version and the one on the right is the newer version. When I say old, this figure came out, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago? And this version came out this year in 2022. The Iron Man on the left is still available and you can purchase him in two different Marvel sets. The first is set 76192 Avengers Endgame Final Battle, and the second is 76237 Sanctuary 2 Endgame Battle. The Iron Man figure on the right can be found in set 76216 Iron Man Armory, which just came out this year. Before I get into the comparison of these two figures, I wanted to make sure to talk to you guys about the controversy surrounding this. So the big problem people have with this new one is that, well, it's new, right? I mean, this old one, this is the classic. LEGO has been using this helmet for decades, not decades, I don't know, ever since 2012. 2012 is when the first Avengers movie came out, which is also the same year where the first LEGO Iron Man was released. And I think it's such a great figure. You know, I grew up with it. Fans of that helmet also grew up playing with it. It just kind of like tied into our memories of childhood and playing. And whereas this new one, it's completely different. It's made of two completely different elements. It's meant to represent the same thing, Iron Man's helmet, but just the fact that it's new and different makes people instantly not like it. But as I compare these figures, I hope you'll soon see that the new helmet is better in almost every way. Yes, I know that's blasphemy to some LEGO fans to say that, but just keep watching the video and you'll see my reasons. First of all, we have to compare it to the movie. So as you can see in these clips I found of Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, this newer Iron Man helmet on the right just matches the on-screen appearance of Iron Man a lot better. You can see the Iron Man on the left, the older one, it's a lot wider, I would say. The gold of the mask is a lot wider, it's a lot thicker. It does not have the angles that the new one has up top or the sides or the cheeks with the gray. This one is just way more accurate. Overall, I think the Mark 85 Iron Man suit as seen in the Iron Man movies and Avengers movies is just a lot more narrower than his first suits used to be. For that, I think the older mold is just really outdated and it really shows. Again, I think all it takes is just looking at the source material to see that the one on the right is superior in terms of look and overall accuracy. Now, one thing I did want to point out that I think the version on the left does better than the version on the right is color matching. So right now, LEGO likes to use a lot of drum lacquered gold. And the gold on this new Iron Man's face part, that is drum lacquered gold. It's a lot more shiny, a lot more, well, it's definitely not as yellow as the face mask of the older Iron Man. You can see this yellowish gold more matches the plastic that they use in the arms of the old Iron Man. Of course, as I said, they reuse the same torso, so this gold does not match the gold arms at all, not even close, which is something I was pretty disappointed about. I think they should have done this drum lacquered technique on these arms just so it would be consistent, but nope, LEGO decided to cheap out and just use the same torso. I also have to point out that the printing on both the torsos does better match the helmet of the new one. So with the older figure, the arms and the helmet match, but the printing does not match the helmet. And in the newer figure, the printing and the helmet match, but the arms don't match at all. Personally, I think that the older one is better in terms of matching because I think those arms are very noticeable, more noticeable than the prints. And I think on the new one, those arms, they almost look orange. They just stand out so much, and I think it looks pretty bad. But if Lego fixes the arms on this newer one, I think this right here is a perfect Iron Man figure, and it's way better than the old one if we're talking screen accuracy. Then before we hop over to the Mark III version of Iron Man, here's a quick look at them with the helmets raised up. Of course, they both still have that function. We'll get into the details of how the helmets are made at the end of this video, but now let's move over to the Mark III Iron Man. So here is the Mark III version of Iron Man. Again, just like the Mark 85, Lego reused the legs and torso. They are identical, and the heads as well, they're identical too. The only difference are the helmet pieces. This is the newer one on the right. This is the older one on the left. The newer Iron Man can also be found in the same set where I got the other one from, and that is 76216 Iron Man Armory. The older Iron Man can be found in Iron Man Ironmonger Mayhem, which is set 76190. So, as I talked about for the Mark 85, the Mark 85 in universe, his mask part, the gold mask part, is just a lot thinner, whereas the Mark III is a bit more fatter, a bit wider. So in this case, I think that the more original classic Iron Man helmet, I think it's pretty adequate and it still holds up today for that figure. I think the one on the right looks good. I think the one on the left looks good. I really do believe that they both work, and I think they represent the Iron Man Mark III pretty well. I think if you want to improve the older one, you could add the black lines that are in the new one, right? You have that black line around the cheek and in the mouth area, which this one kind of lacks. I think that would really help the older one and elevate it to current Lego standards. Of course, you still have the problem about the gold not matching, but I think it's a lot less obvious here, especially since there aren't giant gold arms. All you have is a little gold printing on the legs, and I think the old one, even though it doesn't match perfectly to the printing, it works and it really doesn't bother me at all. So if the newer Mark 85 was a huge improvement over its predecessor, I gotta say that the newer Mark III isn't crazy advanced compared to the slightly older Mark III. I believe the older Mark III came out maybe less than a year ago, maybe a year, and the current one came out this year. So while I do think that the newer Mark 85 helmet is way better than the older one, I think these are pretty comparable Iron Man figures, and I think if any of them have the edge, it's gonna be the newer one, but I think the old one still holds up and is a pretty passable Iron Man Mark III. Now let's jump over into a closer look at just the helmet and not the specific version of Iron Man. Something I noticed about the older Iron Man helmet is that if you look very carefully, the one on the left, which is the older helmet, does not look the same as the one on the right. This right helmet, the new one, matches the plastic in the body exactly. But this older Iron Man helmet was always kind of translucent looking. It actually looks kind of orange, which I've always thought is very weird. I don't know why Lego uses a different type of plastic for that old helmet. It just never really made sense to me. Even the line work, you can see the lines in the new helmet are sharper. They're more crisp, more defined. Whereas the older lines look kind of messy, kind of just harder to see. Not messy, just hard to see, more round, not as sharp. And yeah, the new one just fits Lego better, and the older one just kind of looks weird to me. Looking around back, you can see the differences, and they're pretty much different pieces completely. Again, you can really see that orangish tone to the old one, and the new one just looks so much better. I really wanted to talk about stability in terms of the visors. The old one, it connects right there, and the new one connects right there. When I put the new one in, you hear a clicking sound. When I put the old one in, there's a small click, but it's not as loud as the new one. It's just a lot more flimsy, and it always has been. See, when I pick this up, I can easily bend this up, and it comes off like so. Whereas the new one, if I put the same pressure, it's not coming out. You can pull it out if you put enough pressure, of course. But this is just a lot easier for kids to play with. It's more durable, it's stronger, it makes me want to pop the front of the helmet off and on more. I think it's just a better product overall. Here's one final look at the helmets open from the side view. This newer one can go up all the way, almost vertical, and the one on the left, it kind of sticks out over the front. Again, I wanted to point out, I grew up with the original two, but in terms of just look, accuracy, practicality, durability, the new one wins by far, and I think the new Iron Man helmet is here to stay as the new Iron Man helmet, and I think it's overall just a better design. So there you have a detailed look at two different versions of Iron Man, the older one and the new one. Even though I think the old one, it doesn't look terrible, it still holds up as a pretty good Iron Man minifigure. I do think that the new one is pretty much improved in virtually every way, from structure, overall look, the feel of the plastic, durability. You really can't go wrong with the new one, and I get it. The old one is nostalgic. I grew up with this just like you guys. But if you want to just look at this in a purely objective frame of mind, I think the new design is the best, and I hope LEGO keeps making more versions of Iron Man with this new design so that I can keep collecting them and you guys can too. With that being said, that is my video for today, my comparison video. Let me know in the comments what other minifigures would you like for me to compare. I've already done, well, the Iron Man helmets. I've done a comparison of LEGO Cad Bane through the years, link above. What else would you like to see? I have a lot of minifigures, a lot of LEGO sets. We could do sets, we could do figures. Let me know in the comments what would you like to see next, and I'll see you guys next week for a brand new LEGO video. Have a good day and keep building.